Hi guys, this is Hero, and today I'm going to be making the very awaited video on Venus's transit into its exaltation sign of Pisces. Okay, it's only fit that I got a haircut for this video. I'm just kidding. I just had plans this weekend. But to continue with this video, so as you guys probably know, there's a lot of big transits that are going on throughout the month of April, right? Rahu, Ketu are changing signs, Jupiter's changing signs, Saturn's changing signs. They're all changing into very, very, very important signs. So this is a great, great, great time to get going on some, spiritual elevation, karmic fulfillment, whatever you want to call it. Okay, that stuff that I discuss more in those videos, and as well as my most recent Sun and Aries video. But why is this important? Well, we know at a general sense what Venus represents, right? In a general sense, Venus represents the things that Taurus and Libra represents, right? Luxuries, relations with people, etc. So Venus gets exalted in Pisces, right? And as I explained in my exaltation video, when a planet is exalted, basically that's kind of on theory, or like in theory on paper, the strongest placement for that planet to grow spiritually, okay? Not necessarily its most preferred placement, but just, what's going to help it spiritually, as a whole, you spiritually elevated, right? So Venus in Pisces basically means all of your desires related to Taurus and Libra and all your kind of wants and wishes, you're basically not as attached to them. You're basically able to let go of them. Now, this is very, very, very strong for what's going on right now, okay? This transit occurs, the Venus in Pisces, from about April 27th to May 23rd, okay? So it's a great, great time. And all these transits that I just explained, and including the Sun transit, which is a great kickstart to all the rest of these transits, happen like within 2 weeks of this Venus going into Pisces, okay? So it's like you get a taste of those transits, and then this Venus in Pisces happens. So it's like, okay, all your wants that are kind of holding you back, boom, you're able to let go of them as well, okay? And this is also very powerful. Why? Because as I explained, Sun goes into Aries 2 weeks before this, right? So when these transits start, Sun goes into Aries. So the ego is able to kind of make the changes it needs to support your spiritual development, okay? That stuff that I described more in that video. Now that the ego is kind of on board, because the ego is kind of, let's just say, you could say like the number one obstacle to spiritual elevation and stuff like that. Next is just your overall general wants, right? Like that Venus represents, your cravings, you could say. So that, or your enjoyment, I'll say that your enjoyment kind of comes next after because after you've already kind of taken care of the ego. Now your enjoyment is also like, dude, I'm ready to put this in the back for a little while, or I'm ready to take a back seat so that we can really get going on the stuff that we need to. Okay, like I said, very, very, very strong placement for the time that's going on here. Okay, so in general, what this could mean is that when Venus goes into Pisces, especially because Sun is in Aries as well, all your enjoyment that you're so attached to, okay, specifically with food and relations and other luxuries, you might have a kind of inkling to not be so attached to them, okay, or kind of to not indulge into them as much as you would, okay? I'd strongly listen to this inkling that you're feeling, okay? Now, some other stuff that I want to discuss. Jupiter, one of the transits is Jupiter in Pisces, okay? So Pisces is Jupiter's own sign, and Venus is Jupiter's exaltation sign, okay? So when Venus goes into Pisces' exaltation sign, Jupiter's there also. This is a fantastic placement, okay? Why? Because like I said, when Venus goes into Pisces, it's able to kind of, your enjoyment, you're able to kind of detach and let go of it, right? When Jupiter's there as well, okay, especially because it's in the nakshatra of Uttara Bhadrapada the whole time, and which is ruled by Saturn. So Jupiter's kind of really letting go what it has to let go of. Specifically, that wisdom, the wisdom that Jupiter has will rub off on Venus. So not only are you able to let go of enjoyment and stuff like that, but that Jupiter is telling you and kind of guiding that Venus with its wisdom on the stuff exactly it needs to let go of, okay? So it's kind of giving Venus a crystal clear blueprint, you could say, on exactly what it needs to do, okay? So this is not any time to play any games, okay? Because like I said, Venus doesn't go into Pisces too much. These other planets don't, have these transits too much. And Jupiter happens to be in Pisces, helping out Venus. Okay, and Venus is also helping out Jupiter. Okay, because Jupiter is getting that wisdom from Venus on, like Venus is saying, okay, Venus is listening to Jupiter's wisdom, and Jupiter is able to get rubbed off on Venus, right? And you're able to kind of, see the, how do I explain this? You're able to kind of see the beauty in the process, you'll say. I could say, okay, in with this whole thing, okay? So it's very, 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 I almost want to say magical time when the first 2 months of May, okay? Because the first 2 months of May, all the big transits have already happened. The sun is still in Aries and Venus goes into Pisces, okay? And it's in the same nakshatra as Jupiter as well, okay? Now, something interesting happened. So towards the end of so Mercury is actually in Taurus the whole time, okay, which is one of Venus's signs. So what does this mean? So basically, okay, how does Mercury behave in Taurus? Well, Mercury is not a huge fan of Taurus, okay? Mercury is friends with Venus, but Mercury likes Gemini, right? Which is like, putting in self-effort. So Taurus it likes expanding things, right? Taurus is 12th from Gemini. So it's not a huge fan day. Mercury in Taurus, it could kind of be like, okay, instead of Mercury, that rational intelligence focused on expanding, it's kind of focused on stability, okay? So this can kind of lead sometimes, if not used properly, to a little bit of like a fear-based mindset. But if you notice, Mercury goes retrograde in Taurus right at the beginning of May, like May 10th, I want to say, okay? And up until it goes retrograde, like a little bit before, it's not moving quite as fast, okay? So it's moving kind of slow, and then it's stationary, and then it's going retrograde, okay? So what this means is that, this means two things. So first of all, Mercury in Taurus in general, like I said, it could promote that fear-based mindset. Because Venus is exalted in Pisces, this is why the sign lord of a planet is so important. Yeah, that fear-based mindset is there. That effect is there, but there's also another effect of, you have that fear-based mindset, and which could actually bring out your fears, which could be interpreted as a positive spiritually. But because Venus is in Pisces, you're able to kind of let go of some of those fears a little bit more. Okay. And basically, when Mercury kind of slows down and goes retrograde, what kind of happens is the planet's kind of like, dude, really, I shouldn't be doing this. Okay. That's kind of what this represents. And also, right around the time when Mercury goes retrograde, when it kind of picks up speed going backwards, the sun goes into Taurus. Okay. So now the ego is in Taurus. So the ego's in Taurus. So the ego's kind of focused on stability. Mercury, your rational thought, is like, I'm here, but I really shouldn't be here. So the whole story that's kind of going on is, okay, your ego is now focused on, stability. Your rational thought is kind of saying, okay, what's kind of, okay, yeah, I'm focused on stability, but what's kind of, off here? Okay. And you can utilize those energies in total as a whole with the Venus and Pisces, because regardless of what gets thrown at you, and a lot could get thrown at you, right? Because Mercury is also going to be combust the sun. And they're kind of, moving towards each other, right? The sun's moving forward, Mercury's moving backwards. But regardless of whatever fears and, other things that get thrown at you, because those two planets are in Taurus, you could still be able to let go of these, right? Especially because Jupiter's in Pisces, okay? So it's like a lot of dirt related to stability and fear and anxiety, all of that stuff that get brought up by these two planets in Taurus. But also at the same token, you can really, really let go of this stuff and really make a strong spiritual, advancement going on here. Okay. If this is used properly. Okay. Now, when Venus goes into Pisces, Ketu's transit into Libra has already been done. So basically what this means is that, Ketu can kind of provide detachment from Libra or relationships in general. This I kind of touched on at the end because, even though Libra is Venus's preferred sign, there's a lot less going on here. And Ketu, it's already kind of providing that detachment in Libra. And because Venus is in Pisces. Whatever kind of, garbage gets thrown at you, like whatever, you kind of don't like in regards to, that Ketu being in Libra, you being forced to detach. The Venus is most likely, especially because Jupiter's with Venus as well, it's most likely going to be able to take care of whatever's going on. The energies that Libra sign is providing you with Ketu there, your Venus exalted in Pisces with it being with Jupiter, it's kind of going to be able to deal with that pretty good, okay? One other thing is that towards the end of this transit, when Mars, I want to say it's the last week of this transit, Mars enters Pisces as well, right? Mars is not the biggest fan of Pisces, but at this point, Venus is very, very close to its peak exaltation sign, and they're kind of quite a bit of degrees apart, okay? And also Mars is not crazy close to Jupiter. Okay, so what this could tell you is that, okay, all your frustrations you have as far as letting go in general could pop up, but because of Jupiter's super strong placement right in the middle of Pisces, and Venus towards the end at its peak exaltation, you'll still be able, you almost feel like you could have the feeling of almost feeling like, you're from a mental standpoint that you're just unstoppable, okay? Because there's frustrations there as far as letting go, but you're just doing it anyways, okay? It's almost like it doesn't even make sense, but you're still able to get it done, okay? This is something that if this is only happening at the last week of this transit, and it's not super profound, it's a little bit subtle, so I'm not going to discuss on this too much. But this is something to just keep an eye on at the end. See if you notice this. It'll really give you a better understanding of the planet's energies in general, okay? So you'll be able to better kind of see in the future. You could also take notes during this last week and see like, okay, how was, because I was so frustrated at detaching, how was I still be able to do it? What kind of mindsets did I have, or things that I do, habits that I formed, habits that I let go of, whatever, to get this done, okay? So I think that's going to be it for this Venus Exalted video on Pisces. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to let me know. And until next time, talk to you guys later. Thank you.